Welcome, Atlas.
Welcome, Atlas.
All right, you guys can all hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so real quick, just to preface this, maybe the crowd's too young or too old to get this reference, but there's a book called The NeverEnding Story.
Mm-hmm.
And in this story, there's this thing called the nothing. And the nothing is what's destroying the land of Fantasia. This piece was inspired. Now, if you have not seen the movie, please watch the movie. And if you've already seen the movie as a kid, watch it again as an adult, because you'll actually understand what it's all about. So this is inspired by that movie. Here we go. Have you ever come across people who think they know everything? I mean, maybe you went to school with them. Maybe you've worked with them. Maybe you worked for them. Maybe you dated them. Maybe you live with one of them. Maybe you are one of them. Well, don't worry. I don't claim to know everything. As a matter of fact, I am a self-proclaimed expert on the subject of nothing. I know nothing all too well. I see a stranger being victimized. I feel compelled to do something, but I freeze and do nothing. I see someone, a complete stranger that I feel compelled to talk to, but I stay silent and say nothing. Oftentimes, I do nothing, knowing that the worst thing you can do in any situation is nothing. You see, my parents taught me to fear nothing, and it worked. I'm terrified of it. You ever have that fear? Fear that you'll live for nothing, leave nothing behind, be remembered for nothing? I mean, I think we all do. I think when it comes down to it, we don't want nothing. But when you look at how we live our day, at how we spend our money, oftentimes we actually choose nothing over anything at an alarming rate and expense, right? Tropical vacations promise for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. You can lay on the sand for days and do nothing. We take to social media. My heart goes out to, my thoughts and prayers are with, but what do we actually offer? People in pain, people in need. Nothing. We spent billions of dollars every year on antidepressants and painkillers so that we can feel nothing. We drive on the highway at death-defying speeds, risking our lives and everyone else's. We shop at one massive store instead of several smaller stores. We pay for others to do what we're more than capable of doing ourselves, and we do this so we have as much time left in our day to do nothing. I mean, I get it. Doing nothing is pretty seductive, and oftentimes it feels like it comes at no cost until doing nothing starts to cost everything. Now, let me not get ahead of myself. Look, people who can't walk fantasize about dancing. People who can't see fantasize about traveling the world. People who can't hear fantasize about listening to beautiful music or exchanging in meaningful words. But what do we, those who can walk, can see, can hear, what do we fantasize about doing? Nothing. As a matter of fact, it's become a staple of this great American culture to get to a point in your life as early, as young, and as wealthy as possible so you may afford the luxury of spending the rest of your life doing nothing. There was a time when they were burning books to keep people from reading. Now our libraries are empty. Our bookstores closing. There was a time where you would wait weeks for a beautiful handwritten letter, but now we've replaced pen, paper, and emotions with text, tweets, and emojis. There was a time where you would be killed for believing in any god. But now it seems the only time people pray, casinos, hospitals, prisons, making quick deals when all they really want is another dollar and another day alive to spend it. We live in a time that millions of our ancestors died to give us. We live in a country that literally thousands every day die to reach, because we live in this hard-fought time of freedom where, for the most part, we have the liberty to do anything. And my young friends, we choose to spit on our graves of our ancestors and do nothing. But I don't know how you feel. I don't know what keeps you up at night, but I am not being dramatic by honestly sharing with you that I am so terrified. I'm terrified because I ask myself, how much longer can we continue to do nothing before there comes a point when there's nothing left that we can do? How much longer can we continue to aspire for nothing of ourselves before that's what we become, that's what we're known for, and that's what we leave behind? But the trick is, nothing can work so beautifully if you just know how to use it. Not being poetic, it's literal. Nothing can work so beautifully if you know how to use it. If you claim to be nothing within that moment, you're allowing the possibility to be anything. If you claim to know nothing, then that book that represents your life still has empty pages to be written by all the world's beautiful knowledge and wisdom. Look, there are just 32 days in the year that the average person celebrates, anticipates, participates in. 32. Most of them are pre-printed on the calendar, either paper or digital. And then you've got some anniversaries, you've got some weddings, some birthdays, and then funerals. But what happens to 333 days? For the most part, nothing. But look, I'm not judging. I'm not persecuting anyone. I don't make any presumptions on how you spent last night or last week or last month. I'm here because I think somehow, some way, these words can influence the way that you spend tomorrow. With simple reminders. Look, number one, yesterday has nothing to do with tomorrow unless you want it to, right? Because you're not the accumulation of your yesterdays. You're the living potential of your tomorrows. You can dwell on the past, but you can't live in the past. You've got to live in the future. You are not the accumulation of your yesterdays. You're the living potential of your tomorrows. Here's the second one. You are everything you never said you couldn't be. Sounds like bad grammar. You are everything you never said you couldn't be. You see, when you think long and hard, as COVID has given you the time to do, you'll find that there has been one consistent thing standing in your way. As our politicians change, as your employer changes, there's one constant person that has stood in your way of a better you and a better day. And sadly, but joyfully, you live, sleep, and eat with that person every day. And that person is you. So, again, you are not the accumulation of your yesterdays. You are the living potential of your tomorrows. When I look out into this screen, onto these rectangles, I don't see a dozen people or 24. I see thousands, right? Your neighbors, your coworkers, your classmates, all the people who thought they knew everything. But now you can teach them about nothing. And hopefully your behavior changes to some degree, so much so that they notice and they ask, and hopefully they ask, what did it take to cause this amazing change in who you are? When they ask you, what did it take to change the person that you are and the things that you do, you can honestly tell them nothing. It took nothing. And it means everything.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Woo!